I think my upstairs neighbors are secretly running a daycare and I'm losing my mind.
Oh, baby.
My husband and I moved to a new apartment in New York City this March. It's a 3-story home, one apartment on each floor. We rented the middle apartment, and the third floor was rented at the same time to another couple with a small child. This should have gave us pause, but we've never been below anyone before, so didn't think twice. By the way, this comes from Ring Me on My Landline. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
And I'm Vincent.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we do not have all the answers. We're just going to tell you what we would do. You let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, we moved right before the vid hit New York City and were quickly forced to stay inside. That's when the 3-year-old living above us became a nightmare. They let him run circles for hours without any intervention. But we understood everyone was forced to stay inside. It was a scary time, and we just tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. However, during the worst of it, they were having people over late at night, playing loud music, letting the kid run around /jump /scream all hours, 12 to 2 a.m. on random weeknights. Sounds like this stream.
Yeah.
We really didn't approve of strangers hanging out and partying during a time where people were supposed to socially distance, but who were we to say anything? But then it became too much. We tried to go up one Tuesday at 1 a.m. to explain that the floors are thin, we can hear everything, and that my husband, a healthcare worker, has to get up in a few hours and the noise shakes the entire apartment. Ceiling fans, chandeliers shake and make noise, the thumps that you can feel even with headphones in. Sounds like a nightmare. The response was appalling. The 3-year-old answered the door, and then the mother literally screamed at us in Portuguese, shrugging, saying they don't speak English, yet asking us what they expected during quarantine. She slammed the door in our faces. We think the house used to be a one family, and they must have converted it without proper insulation between the second, our apartment, and the third floor. We brought this up with the landlord, who is the owner of the house, a relatively nice guy. He is looking to installing carpet, and even admitted to us that he caught them playing soccer and told them they can't run around like that. Also to mention that I have been forced to work from home during the vid, and it's truly affecting my work. I can't take Zoom calls without worrying about the noise, and when it inevitably happens, it's completely distracting. They wake us up at night and in the morning with all the running, jumping, screaming, blah, blah. It's one of those things that build up slowly over time, and it's gotten to the point that I record videos daily of the amount of noise, screaming, jumping, non-stop. It's been building up for the last 7 months. Yikes. I mean, she really took her time to say something.
Yeah. 7 months. Also, this was during.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm also imagining just like a kid in cleats and like a soccer ball and a soccer goal. And he's just like, it's the cleats on the floor, but also their next door neighbor's wall. They're just like hammering soccer balls into the wall.
And then actually hammering.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to do. Do you get them back? I'm thinking.
You get another 3-year-old.
Like counter warfare. How do you?
You get a 4-year-old
get
and let him go at it.
You get brooms and you start hitting the ceiling. You know?
Get brooms. Well, this lasted 7 months, and now I'm reaching my breaking point. It's insane. So, a couple weeks ago, I was woken up by someone ringing my doorbell early in the morning. I got a mask and went down. It was meant for the 3rd floor, but they don't have a doorbell. Weird. Okay. Then I noticed my doorbell being rung again for the 3rd floor. I've since hung a note indicating it's my floor. My husband and I have noticed kids being dropped off and the uptick in running around and screaming. It goes on for 30 to 40 minutes at a time. We've seen parents pick up their kid and pay cash to our neighbor. Our doorbell was, again, rung today, even with the note. 7 a.m. isn't too early, but still sucks to be woken up by it. That is too early. I don't know. That is way too early for anything.
Business hours are 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the very earliest.
Right?
You know? At least West Coast, 10 a.m. is business hours. Anything before that, people are sleeping.
Oh, yeah. No, for me, that's like 11.
I got a chuckle from
11 and I'm done.
I've worked a couple jobs out here way earlier than that.
No, I get up at 4 for my job. But like, if you're like talking to other people,
Yeah.
4 a.m.
That's
Yeah.
why it's
4.
funny. They're all like so late West Coast start.
Yeah.
if you're like a normal person, you're not going to wake up till 11. Sorry.
Okay.
Look, there are people trying to survive during the vid. I get it, but they are unapologetically noisy, and now they're having more kids adding to the noise, and it's becoming unsustainable for us. Do we tell the landlord? I would happily go up and talk to them, but they were so aggressive and rude the first time. I don't think it could be any different. I don't want to be a narc or anything, but we also feel like they're being insensitive, already knowing the circumstances. I get it that they're forced to be at home, but so am I. Has anyone dealt with this? How should we proceed? It's such an awesome apartment otherwise, but this will certainly be a deal breaker once our lease is up. The landlord said he wanted quiet tenants, and so I personally think he'd be upset as well. His elderly 80-plus-year-old aunt lives in the first floor apartment, so I'm sure he wouldn't like the comings and goings of all these people daily, given the pandemic, too. Do I just need to suck it up? Oh, and we got some comments.
Well, it seems like this was a pandemic problem, and it might not be an issue anymore. But if it still is, of course, take it up with your landlord, but I like the idea of, like, fighting back. Like, there's... Like,
why?
I don't know. Like, oh, you're going to be loud? If you can figure out their nap time and then blast, like, Yo Gabba Gabba or
Baby
something.
shark.
Or Baby Shark.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and just like, oh, these
I would hate that.
just like counter warfare.
I hate conflict. In this circumstance, I would definitely take it up with like the landlord and be like, listen, I don't mean to be that girl, but I'm about to be that girl real quick. And then, you know, explain the situation, whatever. And then be like, they're also, I think, holding kids hostage. I'm not exactly sure. Something may be happening up there.
We're really worried. There's only one kid that's supposed to be living there, but there's a lot of feet.
It's
There's
getting
a
pretty out
lot
of
of
control.
feet.
Well, we do have some comments. So comment number 1. Some leases may stipulate that the tenant may not run a business out of their home. Example, a daycare. Check the lease for that as well. The landlord may be able to break the lease with them if they have violated that part of the lease. At least he can give them a warning that if it continues, then they will be evicted. Good luck! All right, we have comment number 2. You're not a narc. I have credentials/certification to run a daycare. These rules are very strict. You have to go to school, you have to pay fees, apply, and get approved for a license. They are created for the health and safety of all. I'd definitely bring it up. Heck, I'd call the local licensing agency myself and leave an anonymous tip. My concern is a child getting injured from insufficient, not up to code daycare. There have been national stories of children getting hurt or worse in these situations. The landlord may be nice, but not your best friend. He just wants that check. Ask yourself, do you want things to get better or worse? What action do I need to take? Oh, there's another comment. Comment number 3. What if you ask them to give you a certain percentage of the revenue, or you will report them for running an illegal business? I'm assuming running a daycare out of an apartment wouldn't be okay with the landlord, right? Or you can just tell them to shut the F up, or you will report them for running an illegal business. Now that they are doing something they aren't supposed to do, you have leverage. Use it. You don't need to put up with their crap.
That commenter is in the mafia. They're like, hey, you don't want me to tell nobody about your little operation?
Hey,
Well,
you don't say nothing, I don't say
make
nothing.
it worth my while. Hey, you want some protection?
You come to me while you're picking up my daughter from a wedding.
Few $100 a week, I go deaf. Like, that's literally what it is. That's what it is.
You were a little too good at that.
That was really good.
I got really good at doing prank calls growing up.
I watched a lot of Al Pacino. Update. Carpets are going in this weekend. Yay!
Ooh.
It took 2 months, but hoping it helps curb the noise. I saw 4 kids up there today, and they were running around for hours. I, having to work and take Zoom calls, couldn't handle it anymore and decided to go knock on the door. Uh-oh. Remember, the woman who lives there claims she doesn't speak English. Another woman answered the door and spoke English, probably in her 30s. I tried saying very concisely that it was way too noisy with all the kids running around. I have to work from home and I'm finding it difficult. Immediate yelling and shrugging. Told me it wasn't their problem and we should talk to the landlord. Very aggressive and dismissive. I asked who she was and she claimed she was the sister of the husband. She said the wife doesn't speak English and she's heard her complain about us, me and my husband. What?
You complain about you guys saying it's too loud?
I guess so. I don't know
Yeah.
what else. Do they stink? do they
It'd be
smell?
funny, like, this whole time they were just, like, hitting the ceiling, and we
They
just
were
don't
doing
know that.
We just don't know. I said that it wasn't fair for 4 kids to be running around while I'm trying to work and that I didn't sign up for this. More yelling. She said that they're kids and she doesn't have to do anything and to talk to Joe, our landlord. Then the lady who lives there jumps in and starts yelling in Portuguese once I mention that numerous kids are running around every day. At this point, I was shaking because I guess I expected it to be more civilized, respectful. I honestly thought appealing to them about me having to work from home would provide some empathy. Nothing. All I kept repeating was that it was too loud with all the running, screaming, and jumping. They didn't care. The kids were doing it while I was standing there. No supervision, no care. So I asked, whose kids are these? And they said it was family. I called 311 and filed an anonymous report of an illegal daycare to the health department. They say I can check the status after 14 days. Hopefully, the carpets help, but the underlying issue of a bunch of kids running and screaming, parents and family going in and out and being extremely inconsiderate won't be solved. By the way, you can run in to these episodes whenever you want. You can get full episodes just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There is another relevant update. What are we thinking?
I think when they said take it up with the landlord, take it up with the landlord. Be a problem. If you guys are like good, yeah, be a problem. If you guys are being good tenants and paying, that comment from before was right. Of all landlords care about is that they get paid for that space. If you're doing everything right, they're going to want to take your side, especially if someone else is like doing something illegal that could jeopardize
Their place that they own.
Yeah, that
their
place,
business.
Yeah, their business.
You can't do a business in a business. What the?
You can't do business in my business without paying me a little bit of your business.
All right, update. I'm not sure what to do with my landlord at this point. He's putting carpet in, so that's a step. But the blatant disrespect, confrontation, and lack of accountability is alarming. Is it dramatic to say I don't really feel safe? The neighbors are so aggressive and shady, I wouldn't put them retaliating in some way past them. I did look up the lease, no noise clause, but the first line says the apartment must be used only for private residents. So even if they had a childcare license, they'd be in violation. The running and jumping is still going on hours later. It's almost like they're encouraging it at this point. Oh, am I going crazy, guys? Wait, that would stink.
Yeah.
That would suck if they're like, we hate these neighbors. Just like run around, bounce around, do whatever you want. Like 3-year-olds have no like they are endless amount of energies.
I'm into my neighbor. Now I need to find out if she feels the same.
Ooh, let's get it on.
I, female 24, bought my first house. Congratulations! In September last year. It was an odd time, but everything just fell into place. It's quite a small village, and everyone is really friendly, so I got to know my neighbors soon after moving in. Yes, socially distanced. Then I met my over-the-road neighbor. Let's call her L. 27 female. By the way, this comes from Throw RA Love Thy Neighbor. On brand. If you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Vincent.
And I'm Savannah.
And I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. But we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, I can't describe it, but it's the first time I've ever met someone and been lost for words, and my heart was racing, and I just thought, OMG, you know? So, after I blushed my way through a welcome to the village combo, we only saw each other for a wave and a hello for a few days. To help kind of settle in, I had my dog, B, with me for the first few weeks. During this time, there was a massive increase in dog thefts in my nearby town. But these dog thefts were not just from gardens, but literally wrestling them away from people. If I'd been working, in parentheses, furloughed off since March, then I would have taken B back to my mom's. But since I was home with her all day, she stayed. So the local police advised not to walk dogs alone, but We go out twice a day. I do a 10K run, good for you, in the morning and a few miles walk in the evening. So obviously this scares me, but at the same time, she is honestly a pain in the tuchus and gets upset if she doesn't go for a run and needs to be tired out, so I'm kind of stuck at this point. Then along comes Elle. She knocked on the door and offered to come with us as she'd seen B and me in the evenings, and everything kind of spiraled from there. I told her about my morning runs, but she didn't really bite, so I thought nothing of it. Then, a few days later, I bumped into her on a run. So, she started to join us on those too. Okay, so she's joining you on the runs. This is like
Everyone's running.
everyone's running, but also like she knocked on your door. This is good.
Oh, yeah. If they do it, then it's like,
Oh, okay. A few months later, and we were spending more and more time together every day. This has now progressed to a run early in the morning, afternoon coffee, dinner most evenings, and then even a walk. It just seemed to happen without me really noticing. I didn't read into things that much, as I don't want to get my hopes up and ruin anything until another neighbor commented about how much time we spend together and how it's nice to see you young gals getting on, and winked. She actually winked at me. I asked her what she meant, but she just laughed and said, "You know what I mean." So now I'm looking back on things and wondering if she could like me too. Yeah. You guys are spending all your day together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get up in the morning and we go for a long 6-mile 10K run. Then after that we go get coffee, and then we have dinner together. Yeah, you guys are definitely like each other. Here's some reasons why she might like me. I went running along the same route at the same time for nearly 2 weeks before I happened to run into her a few days after I told her this. I make her coffee every afternoon. Elle is work from home, and I take it over in her favorite mug. She says I make good coffee, and I'm pretty sure I saw a fancy coffee machine the first time I went around. That's not there now. Okay, so you're saying like
Ooh.
she might have gotten rid of her coffee machine, so
So she could
You
go
have.
get. I doubt that's the reason, but there was probably something wrong with that.
yeah.
That coffee machine. They're like, yeah, we should get a new one or
I don't know.
whatever.
Elle carried on running and walking with me even after B went home. I told her she was going back to mom's, and she went, "Well, I have to make another excuse to join you." Yeah, and then we just carried on every day. She has tried really hard to bond with B. B is a very anxious dog and is scared of everyone except for me and mom. Elle brought special treats to give her every day and has been so amazing with her and never tried to force anything. When I asked her, she said, "It's important to me that she likes me and is comfortable." B actually fell asleep between us on the sofa yesterday. What were you doing on the sofa? Watching a movie together? That's dating material. And it just makes my heart skip a beat, guys. She invited me to the Zoom quiz that she does with her friends, so like a trivia, every fortnight or so. And they were all like, "Oh, so this is who we've heard so much about." We realized we had become each other's support bubble. Elle asked if I was meeting anyone else, and I said no. She said she was glad she had me all to herself.
Okay.
Exclamation marks.
If I said that to someone, I'd be like, "I'm glad I have you all to me." What? I can't even say it. But I'm
You-
glad I have you all to myself.
Are you
Hot.
kidding?
Are you kidding? We can make out right now.
Also, this started with, "I need to find out if this person I have a crush on likes me." Excuse you. You know.
How much obvious can it get?
All right. We gave each other quite personal Christmas presents. Like, it actually made me tear up. It meant so much to me. And she bought stuff for B, the dog. Reasons why she might not like me.
Here we go.
All the reasons above, but that she's just doing them because she's an effing great person and we're friends. It might sound dumb, but I don't know. I need your guys' help. She is just the most incredible person I have ever met, and I really, really like her. But if she isn't attracted to the same gender or doesn't feel the same, I don't want to lose her friendship, as she has become such a huge part of my life. I genuinely have no experience with these kinds of things, as I went to quite a strict all-girls school, so it's not as if there were any relationships around me as a 13. And then I went to a very small university. 8 of us in your course. I guess another reason is that I've struggled with anxiety and depression for the past 10 years, as well as my weight and working on my self-confidence. But I can say that right now I am the happiest and healthiest, both mentally and physically, I have ever been. I've only just really become comfortable with the fact that I'm attracted to the same gender, and I have never really told anyone in real life, but I don't think people would be able or would be too surprised. I don't have any close friends, as no one stuck around when I was struggling with my mental health a few years ago.
Oh.
So I can't discuss this with anyone in real life. So I need your advice. How do I find out if she is attracted to the same gender? And no, I don't have the confidence to just ask. What if she says no and I ruin everything? She has never mentioned anything about past relationships, and I'm pretty tactless. So not sure how I could naturally slip it into combo.
I feel like it started like this, and now it's going to
It's going well because it's getting okay. She's opening up, and we're learning a little bit more about her. Like, hey, tell me, have you ever had a girlfriend? Do you want one now? LOL.
That's
And how can I make a move without really making a move so I don't ruin things? Edit. Okay, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for your support and encouragement. You've all given me a lot to think about, and I think I'm going to casually slip some attracted to the same gender stuff into conversation and see how she reacts. Then bring up the neighbor's comment like some of you suggested, seeing as though the neighbor was heavily implying that we are attracted to the same gender. I'll do it tonight, otherwise I'll talk myself out of it again. I will post an update and let you know how it happens. Eek! If you never hear from me again, assume it went badly and I am consoling myself with cake and watching Brokeback Mountain in a flood of tears. What's your advice to have her find out if Elle is attracted to the same gender?
See, the thing is, I've been on the other side where I'm very straight, but other people don't think that. and then I make friends with these girls, and then they think it's more, and I'm like, oh my, I'm so sorry, I did not mean that has happened only once, really. that has happened one time.
That has happened so much one time.
But
it's happened so once.
But it's happened once, and it ruined me because I felt so bad, and she was my best friend, and we don't talk anymore because of that. Because you can't be friends because she's in love with me, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I wish I could give that to you, but I'm just
yeah,
I couldn't. And so it's really, so I understand
what's at risk, what's at stake.
Yeah,
but there's an update 3 days later. Hi Reddit. Yes, it's me, the useless Sapphic. I had a plan to drop these attracted to the same gender hints into convos like you guys suggested, but honestly, it all went out the window. Elle was kind of stressed Friday after a crappy work Zoom and just needed to vent, so it wasn't the right time to start anything. Though I guess I must have been a bit off thanks to spending all day overthinking things on here, as Elle turned up Saturday morning rambling about stressing me out and apologizing for ruining dinner. So she felt that she was ruining stuff.
Aw.
Obviously, I said, what are you talking about? You can talk to me about anything. And she said, anything? And I said, anything back. And guys, the tension was unreal. Staring at each other and hoping that the Sapphic mind-reading powers would punt in. Then there was some loud noise like a car backfiring or something, and the moment went. So I went to make coffee, and then Elle asked me why I was a bit quiet the night before, and I said something about overthinking stuff, and she said, what stuff? And I don't know, you guys. I wasn't prepared to put on the spot. My casual attracted to the same gender pop culture references were useless in this moment. My mind just went completely blank, and I forgot every single thing you guys suggested. My heart was pounding, and I just blurted out, I like you, right? And then she kissed me.
Aww.
Kissed me straight up. Just snogged in the kitchen, and it was effing great. So you were right. You were all effing right. She's attracted to the same gender. She likes me, and she's been trying to drop hints for nearly 5 months. Sigh. Oh. We were both just too scared to make a move or ruin anything. Turns out she's been burned by straight girls in the past. So she's pretty wary and was hoping I'd straight up say I'm a sapphic. So she'd know for sure. Maybe I'm the sapphic wall hanging would have been a good idea after all. Oh, like
there you go.
a photo.
But maybe I'm the sapphic wall hanging would have been like hanging something on the wall that says I'm a sapphic.
Yeah, like clearly like
Yeah,
a Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
A big old sign.
Yeah. Her friends have been helping her drop hints. She
Aw.
showed me the group chat. You had a group chat. And guys, there's suggestions range from flirting more to just turning up in a trench coat with nothing else on.
How
Those are
fun.
good friends. Also, the winking neighbor has been making comments to her as well. So shout out to her for trying to make this happen too. By the way, something you can make this show happen whenever you want.
Whoa.
You can listen to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update, but first, let's discuss.
You did it, OP. And I'm glad. Sometimes you just have to rip off the Band-Aid after a while, because this girl literally reminds me of Sophia. Because you just like don't say anything. You just go on and on and on and on for literally as long as you can like do it. Then just one day you're just like, okay, by the way, like, I don't know what this is, but like, I like you, and then it's like, okay, I've literally been trying to drop hints for like, then it's not that you wasted all that time, because it actually is like a fun like thing to like play, but only to a specific point. If it was 5 months, I would hate that. I'd be like, after like the first month, honestly, probably after like the first 2 weeks, I'd be like, okay, does he like me or like what? Like, what's happening?
All right. So, no cake and crying watching Brokeback Mountain. Just 5 months of dating to catch up on.
Aw.
As for worrying about how our current schedule could be more date-like during the lockdown, you were right. It's kind of irrelevant when you've essentially been dating the whole time. Though we never made it to our morning run yesterday. In fact, we didn't leave the house at all. Thank you guys for giving me hope, even if all your suggestions were completely disappeared in the moment. Maybe I'll show her the post later and ask if any of the suggestions would have worked. And I think that's it.
My neighbor tore up our garden, so I called the cops on her.
Oh, pushing daisies in another way.
I have a neighbor. Let's call her Sally. I have lived beside Sally for nearly 15 years. She is probably about 35, single, and lives at home with her 2 elderly parents. By the way, this comes from Shaman1. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Vincent.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We would just tell you what we would do in this situation, so tell us what you would do in the comments. As OP says, Sally and I had a decent enough relationship over the years where we would often casually chat if I saw her outside of our houses. Sally would do all of her yard work for her parents, and in the last year, cut our front yard for us multiple times. Nice. Seems like a good thing going on. Our lawnmower broke for about a week, and she offered to cut our grass for us while we waited for it to get fixed. We obviously appreciated this kind gesture, although we never asked her to do this. After our lawnmower was fixed, she continued to cut our grass. My father and I both tried to tell her multiple times that she didn't really have to do this for us, and she had cut down some of our perennials a couple of times, but we knew she meant well, and we didn't bring this up with her. A little more backstory on the whole family. Sally's mother is a kind, quiet lady who would bake us cookies and sweets, and my sister would do the same for them. Their dad was a bit nosy and annoying and has a reputation around the neighborhood for visiting people who are doing landscaping work and standing over the landscapers for multiple hours to nitpick everything they do and criticize the homeowners. But we still had a decent enough relationship where I would help him out sometimes with moving stuff around his garage because he's old and retired, and with shoveling the driveway. We would also let them park their old boat over our property line free of charge. About a year ago in November 2024, Sally was chatting my ear off as she usually did. I didn't mention this before, but Sally was a bit socially weird. She would often chat with me for nearly an hour about our yard because she usually saw me working out front cutting the grass or gardening, and that was our commonality. I do yard work because I like having some decent curb appeal, but don't really care for gardening and landscaping all that much, making these conversations slightly excruciating. Sally started telling me that I should consider changing our garden bed from mulch to gravel, as she said that the mulch was attracting raccoons and squirrels. Not sure how mulch would do this, but that was her reasoning. She insisted on helping me do it, and just to exit the conversation, I casually said something along the lines of, yeah, maybe I'll consider it. I thought
Also,
this,
like, gravel is not great for planting stuff.
yeah, at all.
I grew up on a farm. I know about dirt.
My mom owns,
No, I know, but beyond that, like corn, soybeans, you don't plant seeds in gravel.
and Vincent would know. He's a farmer.
I'm a farm boy.
I thought this was the end of the story, but the next day I found a letter taped to our door. Although I know she meant well, I found this letter to be quite strange, and fully just ignored it. Yes, I know I should have been kind and at least replied, but I didn't. I didn't really talk to Sally for the next year or so. Oh wow. What did that note say?
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm so interested. There's an image.
I'm looking.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
say.
A quick TLDR of
Yes.
the letter. Fun talking to you Sunday about your plans to fix the front yard window to avoid raccoons causing damage. I was able to get more information from the Home Depot Garden Center, following steps or materials you need. Blah, 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 blah. It's a breakdown of stuff. It's explaining to remove mulch, replace with soil. It's talking about control stuff. It's talking about edging and keeping everything in place. Decorative landscaping stones. Total cost for materials. Also, the time of year before snow comes is best. I would like to help you do the front yard window area. If you get the materials this week, I am available. Insert availability. P.S. Years ago, when your front yard landscaping was done, the crew forgot their lawn roller, and it's been on the side of your house for years. It's rusted. If you put it at the curb, those who collect scrap metal will take it away within a few days. I abbreviated a lot of that. It's a full page.
Okay,
Oh.
so this person might have they might obsess over things.
Yeah. So I didn't really talk to Sally for the next year or so, other than a casual hello and goodbye. She honestly made me slightly uncomfortable, so it was easier to just avoid her. She had left another letter on her door around Christmas with her favorite cookies recipe after my sister baked them some cookies, which my sister also did not reply to. Again, I know this probably wasn't the nicest move, but we both were a little weirded out by the letters. Fast forward to September. Over the weekend, my dad had just planted some new plants in our front garden that his friend had hand grown for him. Cute. He had been watering them every day and slowly nurturing them. We were shocked to find that the mulch in our garden had been replaced with gravel and my dad's new plants had been ripped out. My sister called me about it while I was at work, and I instantly knew what had happened. My dad was obviously PO'd and was cursing outside. At the same time, my neighbor happened to be on her way to our front door to tape another letter. There's another image. No
There is,
way.
in fact, a ton of them.
Oh my
Same
gosh.
thing, full page.
What? That's crazy. My dad is a kind, relatively calm guy, but he was obviously quite upset with the neighbor. Rather than apologizing about the plants or the trespassing, she proceeded to tell my dad that his plants looked like they were passing away and that she couldn't even tell there were plants there because of our knee-high around it. Now, our garden wasn't perfect, but it was by no means sloppy or covered in weeds. She then proceeded to tell us that we shouldn't be parking the car on the end of our driveway because it interferes with snowplows, and also told him that we need to rake our leaves more so that they don't cover the storm drain at the end of our driveway. This was not true, as the storm drain is at the end of our driveway and has never once been covered or started pulling up significantly. I verified this with my other neighbor and the neighbor on the other side of Sally. My dad was dumbfounded. He just asked her not to do anything on our lawn without asking his permission and left it at that. That night, she went ahead and planted 2 new plants in our front garden and left us another letter at the door. No.
Okay, at this point, yeah,
Now it's
she
getting
like
weird.
overstepping her bounds.
Yeah.
You might need to start getting okay, you need to get off our property.
Yeah.
And if you get a doorbell with one of the cameras or something, be like, okay, you can't be here or we'll have to take action.
Yeah.
Because that's like, it's getting a little over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a quick TLDR for this letter, basically just her being really passive aggressive, saying like, I was really surprised by your reaction, especially since last summer when your lawnmower was broken, I mowed your lawn 18 times. No other neighbor would do that, but I did that to help. Also, blank didn't rake the leaves, and I raked your front lawn several times. It goes on and on and on and on. I spent 37 hours cleaning the snow manually. Next year, I'll be using a snowblower. And basically goes on and on. Unfortunately, after speaking with you, I wish I'd never spent any time, energy, or effort helping you last summer or this summer, and I will not be in the future. It's a whole letter of that.
Oof. This is a manipulator. If someone does something nice for you, then like keeps track and then tries to use it against you later on, that's not an act of kindness.
Yeah. For a bit of context about this one, when she was cutting our lawn and I was trying to tell her she didn't have to do that, I mentioned that I owe her one and would help her shovel her snow with our snowblower. I did end up doing the portion of sidewalk in front of her house and sometimes the tail end of their driveway, but they always had cars parked in the way, and I also didn't really want to knock on the door and get her to move the cars, as this was after she started posting the weird letters at our door. In hindsight, I shouldn't have offered this in the first place, so I'm in the wrong for that. We experienced snowfall early here this year, and as a result, many of the leaves fell in conjunction with the first snowfall. We didn't rake the leaves while there was snow on the ground, and we were just going to wait until the snow melted before we raked. Snow fully melted by Thursday afternoon this past week. On Friday, as I was about to get picked up by a friend of mine, I noticed the neighbor raking our leaves. I came outside to her yelling at my friend about how we are lazy and are clogging up the storm drain. Again, not true. And even if it was, it would affect our family the most, as the storm drain is at the end of our driveway. Apparently, my friend had run over the pile of leaves she had raked on the road, which is what started the whole verbal altercation. I had previously told my friend about Sally, so he kind of knew what I was dealing with. She proceeded to tell me that all the neighbors are upset with me because I haven't raked the leaves and how they are blowing onto everyone else's property. Mind you, there were multiple homes within viewing distance at this point which had way more leaves than we do. Raking leaves also isn't a city bylaw where I live, as many people choose to leave them on the grass as fertilizer. She started to tell me about how many times she mowed our grass and how she did us a favor with the garden and how it is common courtesy to rake the leaves. Now, I have no issue with raking the leaves and agree that you probably should do it if you have a tree or two on the lawn. But to expect someone to do it right away on the first day the snow thaws, that's a little much. She also didn't seem to find anything wrong with the fact that she tore our entire garden up, made it look significantly worse, and destroyed my dad's new plants. After a bit of bickering, I was telling her that nobody was asking for any of this. My friend was telling her that it was strange for her to be doing this on the first day where it was possible. She was arguing that she did us a huge favor. She then told us that she didn't want to speak with us. Me and my boy were both like, all right, and we left her to rake the leaves. This morning, I found yet another letter at our door. No!
Oh,
She did exactly what I
this
said.
your neighbor has too much time on their hands.
Yeah,
They
to be
need-
like, I need to start this feud about our lawns.
They need a hobby which isn't gardening.
Yes.
They need a hobby that keeps them in the house. They need to
That's
get into
it.
like puzzles or model trains.
Model trains.
Keeps them in the basement.
For some reason, this one blew my fuse. It was the lack of any sort of accountability and the self-victimizing that got me. I called our local non-emergency line and explained the situation. I asked if this was even worth pursuing, and the lady on the phone assured me that it was. A cop came to our door and asked for me to explain the situation before she went and spoke to them. I explained this whole story and showed her all of the letters. She also reiterated that this was absolutely inappropriate of my neighbor and went and spoke to her. She ended up leaving right after speaking to Sally, so I didn't get a chance to hear what Sally was arguing her side of the story. Anyways, I truly hope that I don't hear from Sally again and she stops taking liberty over our lawn. There's an update.
Yeah, she's trespassing.
Yeah.
Legally, yeah.
Yeah, like that's like you can't do that. That's just how it is.
And the letters might even constitute as
Harassment.
it sounds like stalking.
She's not respecting boundaries and
Yeah.
just very much is trying to like take over their yard, which is just weird in general. I don't really understand the reason. That's just more work for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the update. Realizing that I probably should have included some details about our lawn, as the letters might lead you to believe that it is terrible. I'd like to think that our lawn is actually quite well maintained. In the summer, I try to mow it every week, or 2 weeks at most. I water it, pull out weeds every so often, fertilize it, and edge it up annually. By the way, we can fertilize your brain with full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. It's another relevant update. I
Yeah.
think we've said it, everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. If you were to see my lawn, you would probably think it's quite decent. I won't say award-winning, but definitely nice. With green grass and some perennials.
Perennial.
Shoveling, we do within 24 hours of snowfall every time. Raking, we don't typically do more than once or twice a year. We try to mulch the leaves by mowing over them a few times through the fall, as it is good for the grass. There are no bylaws in my city that state that you must pick up leaves. Update 2, here's the picture of the garden. Oh, the day she redid it. Oh. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures of what it looked like before, but there was red mulch where the gravel is, and that dirt patch definitely wasn't there. My dad's 2 plants were on either side of the perennial. Well, that's it for this story.